You are now tuned in to the greatest Natural Vibes Podcast. Hit you with the latest.
Go to college, you're going to attend things, you're going to do different things. But the number one thing and the number one reason you're there is to get your education.
That's
okay?
Say it.
You know what I'm saying? We're gonna talk about if you just there. We have a name for that, but we're gonna talk about that later.
Pros.
Yes. So we have this thing called it's secret, it's underground, like the Underground Railroad. Just it's secret, it's underground. It's called Rate My Professor.
RATE.
So if you know people that have, well, it's actually like, I think you can go like on a website or whatever, and you can pull up like your professors or the professors at your school, and you can look up how other students have rated them. And so I knew that it existed, but I went off of word of mouth. And so like friends would say like, take Dr. Bass, take Professor Worley, take Dr. Askew. Those were like my favorite teachers. But like they would tell you which teachers to take. But if you go to Rate My Professor, students will give the teachers like an A through an F. The people that have the F, you don't want to go there. But you also need to keep in mind that some people will give a teacher an F just because they didn't like like how challenging the class was, or they'd be like, it's too hard, or the teacher get on my nerves. So do your research on your professors, but Rate My Professor is a good way to kind of gauge what classes to take. Don't take a class just because everybody gets an A. You may not really learn anything out of the class, but
if it's
your
not
GPA,
in your major,
it ain't got nothing to do with your major.
it ain't got nothing to do with your major.
Yeah.
Shout out to your GPA.
Yeah, that's how I took my my history class, because I was like, I just need an A.
There you go.
There
I'm
you
just
go.
trying to graduate.
There you go. They'll tell you.
Yeah.
What class to take.
But it's a dope tool to use.
Small
Yeah.
little.
What?
I was gonna say something, but I cut you off on accident. My bad.
Oh no, you're fine.
I was gonna say small little plug when we're talking about underground things. Rent your books instead of buying them.
Yes.
Okay.
And there's a website called Chegg.com.
Yeah.
Where you can rent books. So that is another little underground tip that, you may not know first going into school, that there is an option to rent books instead of buying, so that you don't spend so much money.
Right.
Now, if you get into your major stuff and that stuff that you're interested in and you want to buy those books to keep, by all means do so.
Right.
But I didn't have any interest in statistics, so I rented. Or, whatever those basic classes were.
That's what's
So
up.
that's a small little plug as well.
Hey, make sure you do buy your major books, because if you go into the field that you're supposed to be in after you graduate, that book will definitely be a tool to you.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And instead of renting or, buying, you can just download it illegally.
Oh God, don't do that.
There we go. So, Jara, since
Just
you
saying.
had that, can you help the future incoming freshmen on knowing the importance on prioritizing your schoolwork first?
It is extremely important to prioritize your schoolwork first. And, I say this as a procrastinator myself, so I get it. There are going to be those moments where you do procrastinate, but I want you to always go in with the focus being your schoolwork. Wherever you are, whatever you do, make sure that is your priority, because that is the reason that you are there. Above everything else, you are there for that reason. This moment is going to set you up for the rest of your life. So
true.
make sure you take it seriously.
For real.
So true. So true.
You better talk about prioritizing.
Yeah, because it's hard to lose sight sometimes when you're down there in a new city or a new area, and you meet new people, and you meet up with people that have a totally different background than you do. And so you start to see life a little differently.
Yeah.
And then, because I know that's my story. I was like, oh, I'm in Atlanta. I'm finna turn up. And then it'd be like, school, what? And then my daddy was like, you finna come home. Okay, let me prioritize and get it together.
Right. Because you showed them what they're
Because I fought to leave Dallas, Texas. So, okay.
So I want to
Yeah.
And with that prioritizing, they have to make sure you go to bed on, if you can, which is not going to happen. But there's 3 different 8 o'clocks. 8 o'clock when you was in high school.
Right.
It's 8 o'clock when you go to work.
Right.
And then there's an 8 o'clock class in college. Carson, share some light with
Now, 2 out of those 3 actually matter.
I'm gonna let you figure that out.
Yeah, right. I'll
that
let
out
you figure
among
that
yourself.
out. Yeah. So, 8 o'clock classes, man. First of all, if you're not a morning person, don't do it. Even if you are a morning person, don't do it because you're setting yourself up for failure. I know my story. I had an 8 o'clock class, English 101. It didn't work. It didn't work out for me. Class started at 8 o'clock. My alarm went off at 7:45. Class started at 8 o'clock. I arrived at 8:15. So don't get an 8 o'clock class, man. Especially if you're not responsible. And taking that leap, it's a burden. You don't want to have that to be the cause of you coming back home or you getting on academic probation.
Academic probation.
Ooh, because that is real.
It's real.
real.
What's
and
it
it's
called?
hard
Yes, it
to.
is.
What's the word?
What?
What's the word? I know academic probation, but it's another word we use. You on start with S.
Suspension?
SAP.
SAP.
What is that?
SAP. Well, it's the same thing. Student academic probation. It's the same thing, but that's
okay.
the word.
That's what we use in
used
Graham.
on SAP.
Yeah, I'm on SAP. You don't want to be on SAP.
You don't want to be on SAP. That's yeah.
And
It
it's
happens.
hard to bring your GPA back
It's
up.
hard. It
Like,
is so hard.
I
I know that from
failed.
experience.
I definitely failed that class, the 8 o'clock class. I sure did.
I did too. I did
Sure
too.
did. I
Did too.
ended my first.
But I think I want people to know, though, it's not impossible either because we were all once there. You know what I'm saying? We were all in that position. So don't feel like if you're in that position that the world is ending and it's over. No, that you just need to get it together and turn it
Oh,
around.
yeah. Most def.
And also, so if you go and you just completely mess up your freshman year and your GPA is like trash, because that was me. I had a
Me too.
1 point like 9 something.
I had a
Yep.
1.21.
See, yeah.
Yeah.
So
I had a
We all
2.9.
it doesn't matter what your GPA starts out as. It doesn't matter. I graduated and had a 2.95, and I was pissed at graduation. Like, I ain't even getting no 3.0, but I was sitting at graduation.
Yeah.
Like, my daddy was like, but you graduated.
I had 2.7.
It doesn't matter, and it doesn't matter what your GPA is when you graduate. You can still go off and get higher degrees. You can still go off
Right.
and get a good job.
Absolutely.
Like, your GPA, it's important, but it doesn't define who you are at
You
the end
better
of the
say
day.
it.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, cause baby,
Because I know some summa cum laudes that's working at McDonald's.
Come on.
Stop
now.
it. You get out of here right now.
you
Go put
finna get a
yourself
pop
in
pop.
I'm just being
You being
real.
real.
timeout. Go put yourself in timeout.
So just when you choose these 8 o'clocks, and then there's definitely another thing to that. I being in the, I know we was in the band. It was definitely a little bit more harder for us because our body is already worn and toe out.
Right.
9 out of 10, we just came back from, I don't know,
A session.
California or something like that. You don't never know what the weekend brings.
Right.
The football team travels or whatever the case may be.
World traveling band,
Yeah, so
World
world famous.
so try, if you can, try to get away from the 8 o'clocks if you can. But if you got it, hey, don't do your thing. And there's the thing that it floats around. Okay, everybody becomes a victim of it. It happens. It's called procrastination.
You said everybody become a victim?
Yeah, everybody becomes a victim of it.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, so
I'm still a victim.
I'm still being victimized, right?
yeah, I don't know I don't know where the cure is for that. I don't know, but procrastination is real. 11:59 p.m.
Hey, when they say 11:59 p.m. is 11:59 p.m. Have your stuff in at 11:59 p.m.
Turn that assignment in.
And if you got to print stuff, print that out the day before. Don't print that out right before class because your printer will break down.
Or when you go to the what we call it JTS,
JTS.
where the computer lab thing, you never know, they might be out of paper or having technical difficulties,
Or there's a long line.
or there's a long line.
And your professors don't care.
They
Sure don't.
They don't. So
You don't want to go to the library because they charge in the library.
yeah, they give you about 10 cents. They add up. So
Especially if you got a 10-page paper.
ooh,
That's
yeah,
$1.
that's
You know what you can do with
right
$1? Take it to the vending machine.
So do not
Wash your
procrastinate. Do not procrastinate. Try to stay on top of it because it's easily to get out the way. All right. And then another thing, class attendance is very important.
Should I go to class?
Please go to class. Please go to class.
Okay. So
Here we go.
can we be real?
I'm nervous.
Yeah, we can.
All right. So going to class. Yes, please go to class. But come on, man. you can still pass that class without going to class.
Sometimes.
The key is make sure, there you go. Make sure you have somebody in that class. Befriend somebody.
Oh, yes, you have to.
Befriend them. You know what I'm saying? Build a relationship with that person. Hey, I'm not coming to class this day. Can you take take notes for me or shoot them to me? And we have the technology now where you can just like actually take a picture of it, put it in a PDF format, and just send it off.
Yeah, y'all have way better technology than what we had going to school right now. Yeah, so y'all good.
Yeah.
No excuses.
Go to class, but if you can't make it to class, like if you oversleep, you just oversleep. It happens.
It happens.
But you can still pass the class. Don't make a habit of it though.
Right. Yeah.
Because I'm telling you, you'll be surprised.
Because some of these professors actually count attendance for your grade.
Oh, yes, they do.
Yeah. So sometimes they help you.
Yeah.
Sometimes they help because I'm telling you, a C in a difficult class.
Hold on. A D in a difficult class.
You just want to.
I don't have to take it no more.
You don't have to take it no more. We just gonna leave it at that. Hey MVP fam, make sure you go follow us on IG and Facebook.
And Natural Vibes Podcast, and check out the daily highlights.
Make sure you subscribe to our website at www.naturalvibes.org and keep vibing with us.